go-to characters?
Huh?
There were 3 parts to that question, and believe me,
Wait,
because you're...
when was I doing this?
Yeah.
When I was a little kid? Never got to do it when I was a little kid.
Okay, let's
I
go
like to watch I would watch everything and think that would be really cool if I could do that, but I was always told that I couldn't do that, so I never even dreamed that that was going to be a job for me. My next door neighbor when I was growing up was a makeup man, and I used to always tell him I wanted to do that when he grew up, and he goes, yeah, sure, you know. Finally, when they had to open up the unions in the early 70s because they didn't have enough members, and the government actually made them open up the union. And I remember going to pulling up Neill and saying, hey, you know what happened? My mother, this is what happened. My mother invited him and his wife over for dinner, and my mom called me up and said, why don't you bring over your portfolio and show Leo what you've been doing? And this is a man that I idolized as a child. I mean, he would always make me up on Halloween. I would always tell him that I wanted to do what he did when I grew up, and it was always blue, right? So I go over to my dad was working up north, so it was just my mom and me, and I went over there to have dinner with him. And I showed him my portfolio, and he's looking through it, he's smiling, and he's just, you know, not making any comments. And he shut the book and he threw it on the coffee table, and he looks at me and goes, you know what? He said, you're never getting that union. And I went, wow. I mean, I swear to God, if smoke could have come out of my nose and my ears, I would have flipped out. I was so upset, I was shaking. And I went into the kitchen, I told my mother, I said, I'm going home now. She goes, but we haven't had dinner. I said, I don't care, I'm so fucking pissed off right now, I'm going home. And I thought, here's this person that I just only ever wanted to do what he did, and he wasn't gonna give me any words of encouragement, tell me what it looked like, if I did okay, if I could do better, how could I make it better, nothing. And he tried to get his daughter to join the union, he tried to get his son, none of them wanted anything to do with it. And here I am, somebody who really wants to do it, he wasn't even willing to help me. And the shitty part about it, he died before he saw me get an Academy Award. So, that really bummed me out. But anyways, I digress.
I love how every single time that we do one of these questions back and forth, you find this marvelous way of going all around the world, and I go, oh, that's 8 questions.
Oh, good.
Out the book.
Just got that right off the table.
Yeah. Tim Burton is famous for many things, but people who study his career, they know about how he creates a great deal of the art design for the films through sketches.
Mm-hmm.
How strict is he when it comes to his vision being obeyed? And at what point in your working career was there more lenience? Did he just trust you to kind of take your own vibe and put your own touch on things?
Well, you know, the thing with Tim is because of the fact that he's an artist, you know, he's very prolific with his drawings, he can really tell you what he needs. There's a lot of directors that you work with, and they can't tell you what they want. They can't even picture it, so you have to do big books with pictures in them to say, do you like this, do you like that, do you hate this, is this getting closer? And some of them can't articulate what they want. But Tim is very good at that because he can show you pictures of what he wants. And he's also, you know, lenient to the fact where it's like, now he knows he has a certain aesthetic. He hopes that the people he has hired are going to sort of stick within that aesthetic, but he is willing to let you, you know, digress if it's a better idea. So he wasn't that strict, but I already knew what he wanted it to look like, so I didn't have to go far for it. You know, I was like, I get it, you know what I mean? I get the idea of where we're going with this. And, you know, I go, yeah, that's it, yeah. And so, he's really cool. I mean, if you're an artist, he's willing to let you pretty much, you know, take the upper hand and, you know, be creative. He doesn't stifle you in any way.
Which of the famous characters do you think that you had the biggest input on?
Beetlejuice. It was the first one, and the pictures that he gave me looked like a derelict digging through a trash can. And, what he got was that crazy looking cartoon character that I came up with because he just said, we have to be able to stare, he has to be creepy, he has to be scary, kind of, but he has to be you know, he has to be willing to make people happy when they look at him. And I'm thinking, well, this is really going to be a challenge. Okay. And he just has to be fun. And, you know, of course, Michael Keaton made the character fun, but I made him fun to look at. So that was kind of what we did.
I asked you a question last night. What was the best character makeup of the last 40 years that wasn't your creation? And you didn't have an answer at the time. You said, I'm going to think on it. I'm going to think on it. But I'm willing to rephrase it.
Oh, okay.
What is the best character makeup of the last 40 years that you wish was your creation?
You know, I really don't think I can answer that question because all of the really fantastic makeups that were done by people, I'm happy that they're their creation. I mean, yeah, I would have loved to have done that, but I would never take that away from somebody. You know, when you create something, that's yours. You're not, I wouldn't, it's like coveting somebody else's.
But musicians do it all the time. They're like, oh, I wish I wrote that song. And it's not to take away the credit of the person who did it, but if you could travel back through time and make that one yours and have that help on the wall.
I don't really have anything that I cover like that. This is just not my
Pan's
way.
Labyrinth or Shape of Water.
No. I like them the way they are, the way they were done, and who did them. And I think it's really cool that they all did their own thing. You know, I have my thing, they have their thing, and it's all good.
It's a very cool answer.
It's like, you know, why would you, it's just like saying, oh, I wish I had that dress, or I wish I could fit into that dress. I can't fit into that dress.
All right.
You know?
Okay.
I'm gonna give up now.